Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Cobra Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by Mike G. Wolf E3. Hello, Mikey.
You know, if it wasn't for me, I'd have learned a lot about sharks watching those streams.
I was going to say, like, when I've watched the Gura streams and she's done shark facts, I've been sitting there, like, with my hands over my cheeks going, what does Mikey know that she doesn't know? How could Mikey ruin this for her?
I don't know. She knows a fair bit.
Does she know the bad things, though?
I don't know. I suspect she probably at least Googled the bad things once or twice.
Does she know the bad things that you know, Mikey? Because
Well,
you know all the bad things.
Sharks aren't actually that bad.
I mean, comparatively speaking to animals that are... it's probably as well due to the reputation. You expect sharks to have a bit of a bad rap.
Sharks
even
are
though they
pretty
kind of
chill.
don't mean it.
They eat stuff and that's about it.
Yeah, it's not like they're malicious, I suspect.
In fact, they're more curious than we think they are. They're actually a bit more playful than we tend to think they are.
I think the problem is the playfulness is the mouth full of very, very sharp teeth.
Yeah, just like, I love you. Ah. So it's hard for me to ruin sharks. In fact, I can only make sharks better for people.
You know, in terms of... Let's relate this back to HoloLife, because why not? This is who we are at this point.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? So
I
if
did.
we replace
I will admit.
Kiara,
I did. I will say. I will admit.
Replace Kiara with Gura.
Yep.
That kind of relationship with her and Calliope would work as a good example of nature. Gura wants to play with Calliope, and Calliope is like, "No, stop it, please! You're hurting me. I hate this.
I hate you and everything you stand for."
It's a fun time. It's definitely a fun time. We're here to talk about Transformers today, Mikey. Shock horror, believe it or not. Some good things, some interesting things. And,
not a lot, but some interesting stuff.
Yeah, oddly enough, no third party at all, as far as I'm aware. There's just been more mountainous amounts of people taking pictures of their Nices, I suppose. I saw one set of photos, shall we say, Mikey, which was the Nicey figure in poses with a Strike Freedom Gundam.
I didn't see those ones. I'm surprised we haven't had any Woody ones.
Actually, that's a fair point, yeah. But I saw those ones and I was like, of course.
Wait, no, you were like, you can do better, Nicey. You can do better.
Yeah, not the goddamn Destiny. Come on now.
Nothing from Seed. Come on, you can do better.
It might not be in the Destiny. It was one of the ones from Seed. I can't remember which one. It doesn't matter. There were multiple positions that put them in, and I was just like, "You've spent a long time doing this, sir."
I have occasionally just found people who take like action poses, which really highlight that the figure does. Because I still haven't messed with mine because hand, but although I did do something with my hand this week that like I wanted to put it through a bit of a ringer, and I thought
that sounds pretty loose.
Deal with it.
Loose.
And I saw one person was taking really serious photos, just like, wow, this thing's really posable. And I was just like, you're alone in a sea of filth, my friend.
It's the Homer Simpson meme, isn't it? When he's in the lesbian bar, it's just filth and it's like pureness.
Yeah, just this one like, I like an action figure.
Yeah, she can do really cool poses. Everybody has
titties because we're alone. Like, yeah. I don't think the people who buy the Nicey figure go into stereotype. I think there's from what I was seeing, a pretty interesting mix of men, women, everything in between who are into this for different reasons.
Sure.
But the really vocal ones are unfortunately the ones who are probably licking their copy or oiling it up.
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, that's the stereotype, and the stereotype exists for a reason.
Yeah,
you know.
And fair play to them if they want to. I ain't going.
Of course. Yeah, I don't care. It's up to them. They bought it. They spend the money, so
don't hurt anyone else. I don't really give a fuck what you do.
Yeah, exactly. But Mikey, this week we're going to kick off with Flame Toys. I was just going to say toys for some reason. Ignore the
toys.
Toys. They're doing the New York Comic Con version of the it's the Comic Con version Metaverse Bug Bite event exclusive model kit. What's that mean, Andy? Well, that is the Bumblebee version of the Flame Toys kit done into Bug Bite colors. Yes. For a convention. New York Comic Con convention. I mentioned that.
Which is, they're calling it Metaverse this year because it's online.
Oh, that's... Okay, well, I don't Okay. The model kit's going to be available from the 8th, so apparently it's available now if you want to go over to bluefinbrands.com, which are known, obviously, to be very kind and ship things to the UK. Oh, no, wait, they don't, do they? Do they?
No, I was looking at their Gundam stuff a while ago, and no.
Yeah, no, they're another Hasbro Pulse, so why would they? But if you're interested in this kit, it will be $37, of course. What is the kit? It's Bumblebee, but Bug Bite. So they've changed his colors, primarily the yellows to white, and I think the blacks to a really, really dark blue, if not just black. It's hard to tell. It might be the lighting bouncing off it. They've given him the translucent purple, seemingly, because these look like CGI images rather than actual ones. It's kind of hard to tell. I say CGI because what looks to be the translucent windows look fake. They don't look like they're real.
I think what you're going to find, these are photoshops of the original promos.
I think that's probably true. So. They're also suggesting with these photos that he's going to have the good bits from the BotCon version, which were the tampographs, which will probably, I would assume, be stickers, because I don't think these guys do water transfers.
Not in my experience, so I am assuming they are going to be stickers.
And I don't think they'd be printed on either.
No, I've never, none of the Flame Story stuff I've handled has had any painting or printing or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. It's worth mentioning because obviously very, very few companies do printed pieces, but the Bandai Candy toy stuff or the Super Mini Plus stuff does occasionally.
Motoroid does painting.
Do they?
When I got their Mazinger skull, the entire head was fully painted.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's something at least. Well, Mikey, I know you're a fan of Bug Bite. I know you're a fan of the Flame Toys kits. So does this tickle the little ball sack of the Mikey?
Yeah, I was sort of looking at this thinking, I don't have the Bumblebee mold yet, and my long-term goal is still to be mold complete in these guys.
Oh, then this is better than a Bumblebee.
Yeah, some of my experience with Flame Toy stickers is not phenomenal. A lot of them are really good, to be completely honest, but Megatron's chest was really bad. Just how to do it, so I'm curious to see how this will turn out in person. But yeah, I'm definitely interested. And the one thing, this is exclusive and everything else, and oh my god, hard to get. But I had no problem whatsoever for picking up the Nemesis Prime from a few years back, and he was a Comic-Con exclusive, and I got him for price plus shipping.
That's not bad.
And I got him off eBay from a UK seller as well, and he was brand new out of the box. And I go back and check sometimes, and he pops up fairly regularly. So I'm not too worried about if you miss this, you're out of your shot. Mm-hmm. Maybe things have changed and Flame Toys now hold their price a bit better, but I wouldn't flip out if you missed it the first time around.
Is it fair to say that these model kits are not obviously going to be the hot ticket item, say like a Gundam model kit might be, because Transformer fans still have the stereotype of going, if it's not a Transformer, it's a fucking Action Master, and therefore should not exist.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that the Flame Toys are very much targeted at a Japanese market.
Yeah.
Now you've got Flame Toys USA, but the primary thing is the Japanese market, where they will buy this stuff. Whereas at the cons and stuff, Transformers fans are very much going it doesn't transform. So I suspect they end up having more left over than they would if they were selling them in Tokyo Toy Shop or something like that.
I would imagine so. I don't think that's unfair to say that.
But no, and the Bumblebee from Flame Toys is based partially on the Pretender. So I'm interested.
The Action Master, surely, because he's got the Action Master backpack.
Oh yeah. I thought it was. What am I talking about? Yeah, it was because it's the wheels that are a big thing on that as well.
Yeah.
But either way, it's definitely interesting. And it's a good look. Hopefully, if the purple bits turn out as well as they look here, definitely interested.
Cool. It's not for me, obviously, but I think it's neat and it's a good color scheme. So to me, it's 100 times more interesting, obviously, than Bumblebee. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
Mikey, we have Legends Generations Select stuff to talk about.
Yeah. First up, it's been revealed, to no one's surprise, that the next Generation Select in Japan is Abominus with new parts, which is a bit unusual. Or at least these days. He comes with a new shield for hunger and several new weapons. The weapons combine for Abominus, and the shield forms the traditional G1 breastplate. He's also got a new painted head to more closely match the cartoon design. So yeah, he doesn't he's still not 100% accurate. Like the show model has a lot of dark colors on the side, so there's a lot less white. But here it's just like he's limited by physics.
Yeah, and the fact that the chest plate doesn't wrap all the way around.
Yeah. I do think he looks better.
Oh, definitely.
That chest does make a big difference.
Yeah, 100%. I like the head a lot more as well.
He's also using the more up-to-date hands and feet, which means he's a bit more articulated than what you would have gotten originally from the Power of the Primes one. And, of course, he comes with a comic, which every website put out of order.
Yeah, why was that?
I don't know.
No, me neither.
They seem to have just assumed that Abominus does something weird and then splits up, which didn't happen. But yeah, so new comic. Bit of an odd one, this, because few punches are pulled, both in story and in fan service.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the basic story is right after Volcanicus and Volcaticon splits back into Volcanicus and Computron. The Angolmois energy surged Terracons show up. That's not good. And it turns out, by combining the way they did and making Grimlock smart and everything else, Computron's now not particularly smart, and Volcanicus isn't particularly powerful. So it's kind of backfired on them. So with the added energy boost the Angolmois energy gives the Terracons, they're able to down both of them. Megatron tries to raid him in, but he's completely ignored and eats a smashdown and a sound barrier, the little road people, the selectors. And then he spits them out as a little snake bot. And yeah, in Mother Computer's chamber, Spike is like, but what? Who? How? What? Now what? Because his Quintesson had these guys in backup and didn't tell him, and doesn't know what the Cobra is. And the Quintesson explains it's a new product called Slitherfangs. You kill a selector, and you use Angolmois energy to rebuild him into a Slitherfang. They test it out on a sound barrier who's like crying, "No, don't kill me, no," because it's one who used to work for Spike. And Spike is like, "Oh no, they were alive the whole time." Shit.
Who could have foreseen this?
They were asking for freedom. I thought that was programming. I asked the other robots I knew, and they were just like, "What?" Spike turns on the judge, and they start getting into it, and the judge says, like, slaves are slaves, and I own them, and shut the fuck up. Meanwhile, Ripper Snapper tears into Red Alert and is about to take out Inferno with an Angolmois ball attack, but it's blocked by a bunch of double crossers. But yeah, Cutthroat picks them up, flies them to a bunch of Tyraxodons, and feeds them to him.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
There's a little arm going into one of the mouths.
Yeah, and they steal an Energon Matrix, and yeah, Blot is up against Orsia, who has an ignoble end. He specifically shoots her with his noxious slime gun, which splits the ladies apart and leaves them covered in sticky white goo.
No, purple goo. It is purple.
It depends on the light. It's a light purple.
None of them look happy, though.
Yeah, so basically, Elita 1 realizes that now he's got the energy in him. Blot's powered by anti-electrons, and it is basically a gas is coming out of his entire body. Optimus is trying to get up when he's attacked by Sinner Twin, the Jinoko... what is it? Watchdog of Hell. Basically, he thinks he's Deca Master. And he basically says that they're ripping out the Selector Sparks and they're sending them not to the Allspark, but to Transformers Hell.
What?
Which is a Hellspark held within Hunger's base mode.
What?
Yep. Optimus and Megatron are like, what? And then we cut to the Quintesson again, who's like, haha, and reveals that, of course, they made the Terracons years ago with the purpose of draining Angolmois energy out of Unicron. They lent them to Galvatron to harvest energy from Unicron's head. Didn't really go well. And the reason the Terracons don't hang around for very long is that they get called home. But everything's working out now because the planet Earth has loads of Angolmois energy. They're going to drain it and everything will be fine. And they're going to turn it into the next Unicron and take over the galaxy. Hooray! And Spike is like, you dick! And he's like, we should have worked with the robots that we were forcing to do what we told them to do. And then Spike is murdered.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Where did the Quintesson get the gun from?
Andy, it's got 5 heads.
It does. That is a fact.
I wish there was a dramatic turn where it was revealed it had a gun. But yeah, and Spike is wondering why the computer is working with the Quintesson and realizes that it's running Anglemois energy. I hate saying that. And the Quintessons have taken it over. Yeah, and Rung saw all of this as Anglemois starts erupting out, and the life leaves Spike's eyes, and he dies.
I love Rung peering around the corner. That's a great expression on his face. Like, oh, you fucking idiot, Spike. Oh.
Yeah, I'd like that. Had it coming, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, what a piece of shit.
Meanwhile, Optimus and regrettably Mayor Megatron stand side to side and realize that the Sharkticons and the Alicons mean it is all the Quintesson's fault.
Who could have foreseen?
Yeah, and they've allied with the humans, but they're going to kill everyone who's not a Quintesson. Mayor Megatron realizes that since he's ultimately Galvatron reborn, he can absorb Anglemois energy since that's just Unicron's blood. He'll do it, absorb the Terracon's energy and save the day. And Optimus is like, no! You're Mayor Megatron! Your tie will not survive! Like, you're going to go evil again. And Megatron, because he's a goddamn hero, turns around and says like, yeah, that's what I've got you, buddy. You'll take me out if anything goes wrong.
Oh, man. What a guy.
Yeah, he created an entire functioning industrial ecosystem, kept an economy going, saved an entire planet, and is now sacrificing everything that matters to him because he thinks like you'll take care of it, buddy. Yeah, and he goes out and starts absorbing energy out of Abominus, out of the Terracons who combine into Abominus and take a punch, but a bit late because Megatron's already transformed into Megatron Omega, who does the fist catch, but Abominus picks him up and shoots him through the gut. And it wasn't for the fact we know this is actually set in sort of a time loop. He's probably not dead. Anglemois energy erupts on the ground, briefly turning Hot Rod into evil Hot Rod. And he asks Optimus for help.
What a way to end it.
Yeah, just like, oh my god, I've got a beard. And this is definitely in the weird category.
Yeah, it's good though. It's pretty fun. I'd say it's more interesting than the Volcanicus one, personally. There's got more going on.
And they're pushing the boat a bit. Like, there's a level of violence I wasn't expecting in this.
Same. Like, it's not out and out. I say it's not out and out because all you see is like a small Micromaster road piece arm. But the fact that they were fed and Spike was shot through the chest, pretty intense. And
Orsia got Japanned, for want of a better term.
Sure, yeah, yep.
She got animated. But hey, do you know what that might mean?
What's that?
Megatronia might show up and save the day.
Oh, mate, don't tease me. Don't tease me.
They're out there.
Is this when you tell me like? Is this when you tell me that the reason we'll get Megatronia in the comic is because they'll do a reissue of her?
Oh, please! I would kill if they did. Every single week I found one that looked reasonably priced and then it was like €100 shipping and we're just like, you think I'm an idiot. One day, and has to be boxed.
Oh yeah, I won the comic with it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this one. It's got lots of little moments. I mean, I like the idea of just like, hooray, I've got brains. Shit, I didn't need them. And yeah, it's an interesting, it's actually kind of an interesting ending because you do know it's a time loop, which means like Megs is going to go on to be real fucking scary.
Yeah.
So, and sadly that means we now know what the legend story has continued. And our boy, unfortunately, because Mayor Megatron is the best hero who's ever been in the franchise, did the deed. But
he does go out like a champ, though.
Yep, absolutely. And I hope we maybe get him back at the end, or he gets the hero's dead or something like that. But Mayor Megatron, man, I now have to buy a toy and buy a tie thanks to you.
Well, no. To be fair, you said you wanted the red version. All I suggested was you get a tie for it. So all I made you do.
The red version.
I was sure you said you wanted the red version at some point. I'm sure you did.
Well, now I do want it.
To be fair,
Thanks,
you were already going to get the RC. That was guaranteed. You were going to get the Prime RC.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a test to see if you like the toy line. Because if you don't like this Megatron, it's fine because you needed him for Mayor Megatron, but then you don't need to get the RC. You're welcome.
I'm going to get a tie.
Yeah, that might be difficult. You'll either need to make one or source one. People probably like make ties on Instagram and stuff like that.
Is Barbie still going?
Probably. I might actually go down the Instagram route
scale?
because I know that, like, you know how Doctor Doom figures come out every now and again? There's a market that for people to make capes for them. There's actually on eBay you can buy a cloth cape or some kind of cape for the Ranger Slayer instead of just having the big massive plastic one. And it doesn't look perfect, but it looks a lot better than the plastic one. A lot more dynamic. It's got wire in it and everything.
I don't like that plastic one.
No, I mean, you can't blame the toy companies for doing that, but they never look as good as they could.
Anyway, I'll take it on to a really quick one as well, just to get it out of the way. Transformers have revealed Takara Tomy Netflix War for Cybertron March 2021 will be Autobot Impactor and Nemesis Prime, which are basically the toys we knew were coming out.
Yeah.
So it's the Impactor with the wrong head, and it is the Nemesis Prime, which is some sort of bizarre hybrid of 3 generations of Optimus Prime toys. So yeah, there's that. They're going to be out in March if you wanted the Karatomi version specifically. Nemesis is going to be $83, Impactor $28. So a wee bit on the expensive side.
A tad, but yeah, they're exclusives, I suppose.
Yep. Anyway, Andy. Oh, there was one thing as well. They're releasing Sound Blaster, and this is setting the world aflame because he'll have the Mercenaries logo.
Oh my god! That's like in the show that everybody likes.
And slightly less damage on his chest plate.
Slightly.
So he will probably look better.
Yeah, I guess.
But hey, Sound Blaster. He's now a mercenary. Which 4 people are very excited about.
Woo! Yay!
I know one person who's very excited by it.
Oh, well, that's good. It's good for them. It's good news for
Chris.
them. Oh, no, they don't count then.
Yeah, we've earned it. Anyway, Andy, take us on.
I do just want to throw out my opinions on the Abominus set. I think the updates are nice. I think Hungar actually has a really nice new head for himself as well as Abominus. I like the combined gun because it's a nod back to the original toy. I remember you hating the Terracons. Well, maybe not hating, but you not liking them that much, especially Hungar.
No. Hunger,
does that
especially, but like...
Does that still exist?
The base molds I find rather disappointing in and of themselves, and I've like Blot's probably the best one, which is a weird thing because I notice whenever anyone does a Terracon set, it's always Blot that's the best one, which is very strange to me. But yeah, I think if I would get this before I got the American version, I'd say that much.
Yeah, same. I'm really tempted to get this because I never got the Terracons. One thing I do hope is I hope Cinetwin feels better because I think Cinetwin. I talked to Jason Kirk about this as well at some point, and we kind of both agreed that out of all of them, Cinetwin felt like the cheapest out of them, like the cheapest made. Like he felt a bit like a knockoff. So I'm hoping. That, like I said this before, last time we talked about the potential of Terracons getting done. I hope the plastic on them and the quality and the joints feel tighter and better in general. But I definitely would like to get this set. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to. Now, Mikey, it's time for me to talk about things, yes? Masterpiecey things, in fact. So, what we have here is Transformers Masterpiece Starscream 2.0. We have new images for him. We have lots of images of both him in many poses and his accessories. So, I'll go through the accessories because that's going to be the easiest thing. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. He has Megatron in gun mode. He has effects parts such as jet boosters for his, jet mode, obviously. He has gun effect for Megatron. He has a couple of other energy effect parts as well. He comes with a 2-piece stand and a armature, I suppose, for him to go on. He has his null rays. He has a flight stand. He has the claw. that gets the cosmic rust asteroid shard out of Megatron's chest. He also has said shard. And finally, he has the drill from that really terrible episode where Starscream is proving a point by drilling into a big sphere and it explodes, whatever that episode was called. I don't remember which one it was.
I didn't. I have to admit, I didn't remember a lot of these.
No, I knew all of them apart from the drill. To be fair, I as soon as I saw the claw, I was like, "What's that for?" Then I saw the shard and went, "Oh, cosmic rust." I thought that was quite nice. It was a neat idea. The faces are interesting. He has an upset-looking face, like he's scrunching his lips together like a Kermit the Frog when he's not happy. He has a kind of face. He has a sneaky grin. He has a sneaky smirk, and he has a pog face. It's literally a fucking pog face.
Pog face is weird. Why?
I don't know. I have no idea. I can't picture when Starscream ever pogged, but it's not like a terrifying, like, oh, it is just the pog meme, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's funny though. And then he's got like an open mouth. Well, there you go. What do you think of the look of a coloured Starscream? Him, his accessories, and all of his poses. Oh, sorry, he also has his boob missiles, of course, because that's a standard.
I think he looks good.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely looks like an improvement over the original, but that's a low bar. What I'm curious about with him is engineering, because is he going to be like? Does he need to do tricks to turn from the plane into the jet? Because, we don't see much of the bottom of the jet. We see it from the side in some pictures, and it looks like it's not a clean bottom. Like it's undulating a bit. So I'm very curious to see how clean it is underneath. But, I want to know what kind of engineering tricks had to go into making this, because it's not unfair to say that third party have done something similar for cheaper, because we do have the price now, and without going to crazy lengths for engineering. It's not like Optimus where you kind of need some sort of black magic if you want to be accurate. Starscream is relatively straightforward, so I'm wondering what's the engineering, how the articulation seems to be there, but how's it play off? It looks good. It looks good. The accessories are not insane. In my opinion, I think they're mostly okay. Again, the pog face is what, but blast effects I think is a nice touch. And there's the thing about Starscream, there really isn't that many accessories to give him. So I think throwing in what they did, I think is a good idea. Obviously, the Megatron gun had to be there. So pre-order prices are just under 200, and brand new prices are 250. So if you are getting him, now is the time to get the order in. I'm struggling to know if I think 200 is too much. I think 250 probably too much, because that's up to Megatron Dinobot prices, and I don't know if it doesn't look their equal. Yeah. And please be aware there's at least the 2 other repaints of this coming out. 3 if you include Sunstorm, and depending on how much remolding they want to do. One thing is, it will be easier to find a small dog to go with your Thundercracker in this scale. It's really hard to find the Thundercracker to go on a 6-inch scale. That goes with a small dog. I'm not kidding. So I think it's worth looking out for. I certainly feel better about this than the last masterpiece of note, which was Optimus. Also, articulated fingers is new. Am I wrong? Is that new?
You mean for masterpieces?
Properly articulated. He actually has individual fingers. Not he doesn't have the usual thing of pointing finger and weird opening all stuck together hand.
That's a good point. I don't know. I think some of them have had it. I don't know to this extent though, because obviously, like you say, you've had your main index finger that's been usually the posable one, and then the bottom 3 have usually been in the claw, like you mentioned. But I want to say that some of them have had individual fingers, right?
Hopefully,
I'm sure.
Hopefully. I don't know. I think he's worth keeping an eye on, to be honest. I won't be buying him. I mean, if the money got to a non-crazy version, I could pick up a Thundercracker because that's my boy. But yeah, this, he's out next year, presuming he doesn't get infected with something. Yeah, I'm curious. I am curious. I know G1 fans are just like flipping tables at this. They're so excited, and that's fantastic. That really is good for you guys. I'm being legitimate. Like I've seen a lot of people who are like big G1 collectors, or who are just like, "Oh my god, I love this." Hopefully, it won't just be like, "Oh, it turns out it's just a weird version of the classics toy." But
it doesn't look like it. Luckily,
no.
And it doesn't look like a slightly updated version of MP3 at least. So that's something. Which was what happens when you get someone in to design a Transformer who hasn't done it before. Yeah, but does like military planes. It was interesting for the time.
Yeah, it was just at the time. It was just that wonderful moment of just like, why is he green? Yeah. Why is he green? Why does he have a skirt?
No one knows.
Because that's what a plane looks like.
Yeah.
And the guy who did it was a big military nut.
And do you remember when they took that design over to All Hail Megatron as well, where they all had the little side skirt things?
I didn't hate it there. I didn't hate it, but it felt very strange to me to stick a masterpiece into your toy advertisement comic. Mm-hmm. Just like, hey kids, you could buy Deluxe Sideswipe. You could buy Voyager Megatron. You could buy a masterpiece. You know?
Aye.
But anyway, 2008. It was a dark time.
Yeah, true. True. I think it looks good. I really like the curvatures on it. Like, it does have a very, very animation accurate look to him, which I do like. I think that's neat. One thing you didn't mention, which I think you should have done, especially when talking about the price, is what will break on him. And why did I say that? I say this because it seems like a lot of the Masterpiece now have at least one thing that goes wrong. Maybe not consistently, maybe not across the board with all of them, but there always seems to be a horror story where someone mentions there's a thing that breaks. And it's always hard to figure out whether that's people being ham-fisted with the toy, or whether that's an issue with whatever they're doing in the factories to make this toy. Hopefully that won't be the case, and Starscream will be fine, and he'll come away with no issues and no problems, and everything's just going to be nice. Nice.
I don't know if it's QC or just like they're trying to be more high-end, and being more high-end makes your toys occasionally more delicate, depending on who you are. And Takara Tomy ain't Bandai.
No, luckily they're not CM's corpse or CM Corp, like when they did.
Yeah, they're not quite the other side. They're just like, don't sneeze, please, for the love of God, don't sneeze.
Oddly enough, they feel like they kind of fall in between the middle. Like, they're not like CM's corpse where, like you say, they sneeze and explode, but they're not the Bandai Japan high end quality shit. Which is a shame, but
which is like that's kind of been what Masterpiece has always been. It's just, I think nowadays it's they're pushing the boundaries of at least their engineering. Yeah, and I think that they haven't necessarily upped the engineering quality to match, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's interesting, and like you say, we'll see at least two more, very least at least two more versions of this fucking figure. So yeah, we'll see. What else do we have on the table today? Actually, no, it's time for you. I talked about Starscream. It's your turn, Mikey. You can tell us about TV and how good it's going to be in the future.
Yeah, we've got two very different stories. Kid Screen Magazine sat down with Oliver Dumont, who is president of the family brands for E1, which is a Hasbro thing, briefly outlined entertainment plans for the Hasbro franchise. According to them, there is at least one more iteration on the way, obviously. Now, the way they phrased it is, Hasbro Transformers brand is also getting a makeover. The company is preparing a series of announcements about the development of several new iterations, including one focused on comedy. Now, the several new iterations, some people are saying, is we're going to get 2 or 3 series running alongside each other, like Rescue Bots and Prime and everything else. Whereas other people are simply saying, okay, it's going to be movies, we've got some comics, and we've got TV, and the next TV series is going to be a comedy-focused one. I'm largely thinking it's Transformers' turn to do the 10-minute Thundercats Go kind of Teen Titans Go kind of show on Cartoon Network. Maybe it'll be Steven Universe. People like that.
I don't like that.
I never really loved Steven Universe, but
no,
people did. People thought it was very good and so well written. I laughed at some of the jokes.
Okay, that's good. I died with the amount of filler story, really just like in Naruto and Bleach.
Yeah, no one talks about that, do they?
No.
Yeah, no. Like, what I've seen of Steven Universe is, okay, that's good, and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting. That's good. But yeah, so you and I have been not super keen on the trend of the 10-minute comedy show, especially taking action shows into the goofier realm.
Yeah.
Turtles did it, although Turtles did it in a way where at least they pushed their animation to the max.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Thundercats did it. From what I understand, it didn't go down particularly well. Like, as a show, forget about anything else. Yeah. Teen Titans did it and won't go away.
Yeah.
My Little Pony's done it now.
Yeah, I saw like they've made all the cast like children and put them in kindergarten or something, right?
Yeah, same
weird.
voice cast, I believe, but
that's weird.
A lot of certainly for the Cartoon Network style audience, that is the show that is being pushed. So I will wait until I see the art style, but it's been a while since I've seen a comedy cartoon aged at any age group, and I mean any age group that's outside of Japan, that I've enjoyed. I was thinking today about what cartoons I've watched that got me really laughing, and we're just like, okay, Konosuba, Villainous. Is there anything? DuckTales.
Yeah.
And then there was a long pause because, I like plenty of Western shows, but usually not their comedy.
No,
just because, especially this kind of show, it's fart jokes and everything else, or at least what I suspect it will be. I'm not I don't know anything about the show, but I'm basing it off of what its competition is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but obviously, the 50-year-old male demographic of Transformers has been on the warpath over this. Does it bother you, Andy, that this might be your only televisual offering of Transformers for a year or two?
I mean, a little bit, if I'm honest. I'm not to the point where I'd rage about it or anything like that, but you know me, I didn't get on that hard with Cyberverse, so... and I didn't like RID, so it's been a long time, and I didn't like War for Cybertron, or Power of the Primes, or Titan Returns, or the Combiner War, so it's been a long time.
Do you hate Transformers? Is that what this is? Do you hate Transformers, Andy?
I don't like modern Transformers, because I'm an old man, I suppose.
Oh no, you're one of them back in my day.
Yeah, I'm just saying... I'd love to see the person that says no. The Transformers shows now are better than Prime, and I'd be like, no, don't lie. You're probably one of these people who say Primal's shit, and then you go, no, you stop being that person, please. Have you seen Primal, Andy? No, I haven't. But that's not the point. I know Mikey likes it, so I'm gonna put faith in Mikey that he doesn't have shitty taste, for the most part.
I believe you about Fate. It's just that's a large cookie to swallow at the moment.
No. Yeah, there's a few things you could watch potentially. I understand, though. But yeah, I'd like a Transformers show at the very least, even if it had to be a comedy show. I'd like it to not be a 10-minute show. I'd like it to be a full cartoon, but that's not where the market is at the moment, or should I say, still isn't at the moment. Which I find irritating.
Yeah,
I'll give it a watch though.
You go to streaming services these days.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a watch because I'll give everything a try, but I don't hold out hope that I'll enjoy it. Yeah. What about you, Mikey? Are you looking forward to it?
No, Not really, to be honest. I mean, I'm fairly like this for me. This era that came up about 5-6 years ago. I find it unappealing. If I was a kid, if I was a real young kid, because I remember what kind of shows I was watching when I was of the age these shows were targeted. I was watching stuff like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs and Batman and Gargoyles and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I watched comedy stuff, and but it would be like Dexter's. The thing is, like, we grew up on 10-minute comedy shorts, which I find really interesting about this, because you and I, we grew up in Dexter's Lab, we grew up in Powerpuff Girls, we grew up, and they would have like 10-minute sections, 2 apiece every episode.
I would also throw out though that those weren't my favorite shows. Personally, I did not love Dexter's Lab, but I did love Looney Tunes. But that was written in a very different way than how shows are written today.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, the difference was I thought they're cleverer.
Yeah,
I thought that
would
when
agree.
I was watching them in my teens.
Yeah.
I thought they were clever, and I thought they challenged children a bit. And I think where someone will say, well, what about Steven Universe and Adventure Time, and they challenge people, I'm just like, okay, they challenge people, and I've been wanting to check out this Infinity Train thing, which people say is really good. But they're not the majority, and please don't ever pretend that they're the majority.
Yeah.
The majority of those shows are middling to bad. Because the majority of every genre is middling to bad. That's the nature of television. So I'm not excited about this. No, I don't like it, especially in recent years, since this will probably go on Cartoon Network. And Cartoon Network's comedy has been a bit shitty for a few years. You know? And when the response is always like, oh, if you don't like it, you're an old fart. Like, you do just get tired of making a point of saying that you think it's a bit dumb.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm not particularly interested in this. Hopefully it will be good.
I suppose as well you could easily say that, comedy is a subjective thing as well. So while we might hate it, other people might love it. Yes? No? I don't know.
No, I lost you there for a sec.
Okay. Well, Mikey, do you want to tell me about Cyberverse and the future of Cyberverse then?
Yeah, it turns out Cyberverse has a future. What the hell? Jungle Penguins over on TFW found a reference from the Festival of Licensing that Hasbro was going to be producing a new Transformers Cyberverse movie. 2 of them, in fact, which are down for about 44 minutes, so about half a Cyberverse season. Some people are saying, and it's just like, no, Cyberverse seasons are longer than that. And we have a synopsis found from another bit of sleuthing. So the next part is all conjecture because it can't be proven. But the synopsis is Bumblebee, with the help of stowaway Dinobots Sludge, Snarl, Swoop, and Slug, and the Autobots set out to take down Megatron X. And for anyone who doesn't know, Megatron X is a maniacal alternate reality version of the Cyberverse Megatron, who killed Optimus in the early days of the war and went on to murder pretty much everyone else. And I mean everyone else, doesn't matter if sides. However, more rumors and stuff followed on from this. So the current thing is that at the end of Cyberverse, Megatron X is taken into sort of a middle ground between dimensions. But the rumors have it now that the story will be Megatron X is back. He is planning to wipe out the multiverse, taking over recruiting bots from a bunch of different dimensions. Some people have wondered if this is going to be actual like references to other continuities. One people have said that it's probably it's probably that they're just going to be repaints of existing designs. This is apparently going to be out as a filler, where a new continuity will likely be restarting in 2022. But the Dinobots are going to be involved. They're going to be the central figure, because the idea will be finding a way to create Volcanicus so he can take down Megatron X, because Megatron X is stupid powerful. Grimlock's already an established character. And apparently, again, he's going to function... He's going to be a bit different, Volcanicus. He's going to have big wings and will have an alternate mode, which is a dragon. And there will be a new roll and combine gimmick, which is that the Dinobots can combine with different characters as semi-armor, I think. And the ones that are listed here are Bumblebee and Swoop, Wheeljack and Grimlock, and very interestingly, for the end of Cyberverse, Megatron and Slug. Considering how Cyberverse ended, like, I'm wondering if Megatron's going to be back and have a decent role in this. So yeah, it's, according to the rumor, it's basically Crisis on Infinite Earths, but with the Dinobots.
Okay.
So I am an admitted big fan of Cyberverse, especially season 3. I thought it was fantastic. I am kind of stunned that this is happening, to be honest. Very curious to see what comes of it, and I wonder if this explains why the deluxe line has rumors of continuing. But hey, I'm curious. I'm really curious. Not sure how I feel about bringing Volcanicus into the wider canon, but sure, why not? No, I'm definitely curious. What about you, Andy?
I don't know, because I did watch the first episode either this week, last week, or however many weeks ago. The first episode of season 3, and I meant to keep going, but I stopped. I think primarily because the dialogue specifically in that episode was really stilted. Though I did quite laugh a lot when Shockwave used a weird laser that created a box around the Ark, and it just kind of sliced it into lots of tiny cubes. I was like, what are you doing? Just blow it up. Don't make a weird prison for it. Oh, that's quite cool. Nice. I do need to go back and finish it because, Mikey keeps saying it's good, so I'll need to at least get through it and get up to the Quintesson bits because I'm interested to see. It's good that it's kind of got I guess this is almost like the ending of Prime, isn't it? Where Prime had that Predacons Rising movie, right? So I guess it's kind of like that, which is nice. I guess it means that Cyberverse did well enough to justify, because RID didn't get one, I noticed. So maybe this is pushing that Cyberverse did a little bit better at the very least to justify this. So I'm all for it. Yeah, cool, good for them. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I'm very curious. And like they said, it's 2 movies. So is this going to be a 2-parter? Is there going to be another movie after this? Yeah, I'm curious. According to the rumor, again, this is like people are saying they've seen it. The Dinobots are basically going to be similar to Grimlock in that they're Cyberverse style G1 characters. Now I like Grimlock's design in Cyberverse, so I am definitely interested in seeing how the rest of them turn out. And it, as far as it'll be the first time the main Dinobots as a team have shown up in media since animated.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, I'm talking like, you can count the movies, I suppose, but
no, you can't.
Grimlock's been his own thing. Grimlock's basically been his own thing since 2014. Yeah. And the last bit of news, Andy, I will leave to you.
Well, I just wanted to throw out a quick question because I think I missed it. How long is this movie going to be? Do we know?
44 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so an episode of Deep Space Nine or Next Gen, basically.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad for Cyberverse. That's technically like 2 episodes of an older Transformers show. So that's good. And if you say there's going to be 2 movies potentially, that would actually make a full proper Cyberverse movie. So yeah, they could get some decent storytelling done and not have to worry about ending an episode halfway through or having an ending kind of shunted in for the obligatory 10 minutes. So that must be very freeing for the writers, I would hope. So that's good. But yeah, let me take you on to the last bit of news, as we got a new comic that has been revealed or talked about at the very least. And it's Beast Wars Ongoing. It's going to be a comic coming in 2021. I am concerned that it is an ongoing series because it feels like we've got enough of those. But hey, the team is interesting. The people who are writing it are going to be Eric Burnham. That is the guy that did Transformers Ghostbusters crossover. And from what I remember when we did that review, Mikey said that he was the guy who's just done the Ghostbusters comics in general. And the artist we have is Josh Bertram, who we haven't seen for a while. He did the colours on Last Stand of the Wreckers. He's done some drawing as well, but not much. So I think this is his first like proper gig as doing the full art and the colours. So that'd be really good for him. That's ace. And it's got a really nice unique style to it, which will help add bit of character as well to the piece and make it stand out from everything else. There's not much else attached. We have a few of the covers to see what those are going to be like, but not much else apart from that. Mikey, Beast Wars ongoing series comic. I think it's the first time that Beast Wars is getting a look in that won't be tied into G1 or the G1 franchise in some aspect. So what do you think? No, actually, there was the IDW Beast Wars comics when IDW first started out. So what do you think of this series then, or at least the idea behind it?
Well, I'm nearly certain it's more about advertising Kingdom than it is about doing the 25th anniversary. But that's just the cynic in me.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair remark, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm interested, certainly. Eric Burnham got, like, the Ghostbusters run has rave reviews. People love it. I've never sat down to it, but I hear really, really good things. And I've read the Turtles Ghostbusters crossover, and that was really good. So I'm definitely curious about this one. Hopefully it's an original story by the inclusion of a new character on the cover, who is a new female bat that apparently is called Nyx, which people think is like she's a play on Onyx Primal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm very, very curious. As I said to you, seems to be someone missing from the cover.
Nah.
Might be a bit significant.
Nah.
Should be in the main group there in the front.
Nah.
Maybe should have a prominent place in your comic book cover. Had a very large role in your cartoon series. One of the most popular characters in the franchise. Just pointing that out there.
Is it Inferno?
Yes. Yeah, G1 Inferno.
No, that's a bad joke. Fuck you. No joking about that. Stop it.
But it's gotten a bit of pushback. Josh's art is very different from what a lot of Transformers fans are used to. It's pretty common art style, and honestly, in all comics. It kind of reminds me in some ways of Fairyland, from our I Hate Fairyland series. A lot of sharp angles and stuff like that. Some people are not crazy about it because they feel like it makes the Maximals and the Predacons look too robotic. That's up and down. This is an art style that Josh has been using for himself for ages. And I know he's like, I looked at some old design work he had from a few years back, and these are basically the same take on the characters. So I am curious. I think the art's interesting. It's not necessarily something that's making me going like, wow, but I'm interested. It's different. It's different, and it's different in a way, and I mean this in a nice way. It's different in a way the current ongoing style is different, but not in a way that I find appealing or good, to be honest. This is different in that it's got an actual identity. Like, you will never look at this book and think anyone else drew it. So yeah, I'm very curious about this one. Hopefully it's good. It certainly has an intriguing team on it. I kind of would prefer having a longer form story than another miniseries. Especially if they are introducing a new female character, because I want to see like who Nyx is, give her some build up time, give her a couple of arcs to lay herself out, and don't fall into the trap of we need to get a plot done in 4 issues, go. I'm curious. I'm very curious about this one.
Cool. Wow, good. I don't really have anything else to say on it. I'm definitely, like I say, I'm interested to see what they do. But we don't have to worry about it until 2021 at some point then. So, with that being said and done, that's everything for this week. Mikey, what have you been up to this week? What have you done for fun? You done some good things that you like doing? Huh?
Hang up and ring me back, okay?
Okay.
Oh, hang on. You answered immediately there.
Oh my god,
I can hear Andy again.
Yay.
What did I do? I actually realized that this week I didn't do much because I have had a lot of work to do. So what I've been doing basically is sticking on a computer and having like Twitch VTuber streamers play on the background.
Oh, nice.
So I've gone through a lot of Zentreya and Silvervale, but
so you've gone through a lot of people ragging on Silvervale in her streams, and a lot of Silvervale, I'm guessing, like, being really kind, wholesome, and crying a lot.
Yeah, no, Silvervale, like, she did one where she did a cosplay of her D&D character.
Oh, and she got like 1,000 quid.
Yeah, she nearly died. Also, her
Yeah.
mother's on there. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, her mother's been on one of the streams earlier.
Yeah, which is like, but yeah, she's like, that girl cries a lot. She seems very nice.
Does.
She seemed like a
Yes.
sweetheart. Actually, to be honest, like most of them seem like sweethearts, which is just nice. And I'm
Yeah,
talking about the male fellas I found as well. They just seem like lovely people overall.
A cynical mind and a cynical minded Andy would be, and definitely is like, is that a character they're playing? Are they playing it up for the stream or not? It's always difficult to tell.
You just don't have faith in people.
No, I've lived a life and I've met people, and thus I don't have faith in people.
I've met better people, and you.
I'm glad. Apart from you meet me, that was a bummer. That was a down point.
You have chosen poorly.
Poorly, yeah.
But yeah, so I've had them in the background a lot while I was working on stuff. So I actually haven't watched or done much. So yeah, but I will say, like, if you want some entertainment, Zentrea did a VR playthrough of that Phasmophobia thing that's going around at the moment, which is just her basically picking on some poor bastard asking if he's from Jersey Shore.
She's a memer. Is that
she's hilarious, especially like I'd love to know how that voice thing works.
It is interesting, yeah.
And I've caught up all on their D&D run through, so I'm updating that. Which is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Also, like, really make me want to play D&D, if I'm completely honest. Like, if I could find some like I said before, I'm going to look into trying to find some group to do it with. But like, it just like if you do it right, like I have done kind of role play games before, but they were with people like, oh, I'm new to all this stuff. Would you mind coming in and helping me? And I was like, okay. Oh, you're not making this fun for newbie. So it would be nice to go into something where that's like, okay, just sign up with people who've like already been doing it for a few years or something like that. But again, online, COVID, work, end of the world, you know.
Is this why you were messaging me about professional DMs?
No, I don't remember why I was doing that.
Oh, okay.
I think I was mocking something, but that kind of just because that's what I do.
Fair enough. I thought you were being serious because I thought you were watching the playthrough and you wondered how a person became a professional dungeon master. I was
really curious just because like I want to know what kind of, just out of curiosity, just like how do you do that as a career?
What do you want? Do you want a CV and qualifications?
I'm just fascinated, like how, like just some of the jobs that have turned up in the last 10 or 20 years.
Yeah,
yeah. But I did manage to get a couple of things watched today, which I've been meaning to. So current anime list for this season. I say this a lot, but it's not great, and I really do need to do a lot of catch up. So I think I might be focusing on my catch up for the next few weeks, if I can, if I've got time. Like I want to watch.
I think most people have said like there's not a huge amount of anime that's really popping this season.
No,
you could argue because of COVID or just because of other things.
Part of it's like from what I was looking at the schedule around a lot of really standard looking isekais.
Yeah.
A couple of fairly standard looking psychological thrillers. And like all the it feels like a lot of the good stuff is either on hiatus or it's stuff that's been continued on from the last run.
Because we're doing with ReZero, unfortunately.
Until January.
It's a fucking bummer.
Hey, that's not something I watched. A review of ReZero.
Which was basically power scaling.
Two men and an idiot. Powers. It doesn't have a clearly defined parallel. No, it doesn't! On that!
I want the story to be talking about the world and the political stuff. Lol.
It does! It does a lot! That's a major driving force, in fact, especially of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That whole thing was funny.
Elsie's
I couldn't believe some of the shit, because like, I'd watched up to a point, and then when it came back to it, I was just sending you messages like, what the fuck is this? Because I knew it got weird, but man, it got really weird.
It was just that the tolerance that was slowly going down throughout the stream of the other people in it. I was like, what are you talking about? What mystery? There's no mystery.
Mm-hmm.
No, there is. What's the mystery? Just like, there isn't any mystery.
At least it's not the point of the show.
I think when he started taking a dig at Rem, that was just like, I will fuck you up. Like, of course, you're allowed to love or hate anything you want. No one has the right to tell you your opinion on a TV show or medium or anything is wrong or good or bad or anything. However, they're wrong. They're just wrong. Just wrong. Did not get the point of the witches whatsoever.
Didn't seem like it.
No, he didn't.
Why do you like Subaru but not Shinji? That was the question that just made me go, what? What? What a
You know
time.
why? Do you know why? I said it to you, but you know why? Subaru's never sexually assaulted anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And when he called it, when he did bullshit to do with sexism, he got called out in it.
Yep.
And grew as a person.
Yeah.
He didn't have an entire planet warp itself to justify him being a wanking freak. Like I said, we should just play that congratulations clip over it now every time you hear something stupid. Congratulations! But you've got to intercut it with just like the scene from the hospital.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were just going to say with clips of him coming. It says, congratulations. Congratulations.
I'm so fucked up. Yes, you are. Go away. No one loves you. No one should. You're a terrible person.
Terrible hero. He is the antagonist.
He is the antagonist. I hate that fucking show.
Subaru's a good boy.
Get inside your mother.
Yeah.
Hey,
Subaru's a good boy and unfortunately very relatable.
Yes. Painfully relatable.
Relatable.
Yeah, great, fantastic. Love Subaru.
Yeah.
Love everyone in that show. There isn't a character I dislike, which is great.
Yeah, you mean dislike because they're a badly written character?
Yeah, you dislike them because they're assholes.
Yeah. I was going to say the Apostle of Greed, whatever he was called in season 1. You wouldn't say you love him. He's not a guy that you loved.
Oh my god! Don't ask me how I stumbled upon this. I don't know, but you can buy a body pillow of Sloth.
Really? Why?
Dressed
Hang on, which
and
Sloth?
naked.
Do you mean
not Sloth the witch? Sloth the Apostle.
Really?
Mr. Fingers.
The guy with the creepy face.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Huh. Well,
Beetlejuice.
To each their own, I suppose.
Yes. So not the sexy, sleepy witch who apparently could fuck up the planet if she wanted to. No, not her. The middle to late aged immortal with too many grabby hands who likes to snap people in half with his. Yeah. But yeah, you can get a highly sexualized version of him. So off you go, guys.
Yeah, gender equality.
Ageist, not ageist as well.
That's true. You know, it's open-minded, the Dakimakuru brand.
You can get realistic, wrinkly old man balls. And all I can think of is when he possesses Subaru and he just goes, this! And he does the head twist every time. Dickhead.
He was fun in the Isekai Quartet as well.
Apparently he's going to be in the game that's coming out in Steam. I'm curious about that. But
so it's going to be based around season 1. Oh no, you said it was alternate timeline.
It's an alternate story.
That's right. Okay.
But yeah, so I
suppose they have to because he's like he's like one of the only few antagonists that have been shown. So they have to use probably him because they can't spoil future stuff for the game.
Or they'd have to come up with someone completely original.
Yeah, and you don't want that. I wouldn't want that.
I know the creators involved, but always cautious.
Yeah, because the risk of doing that is you do an Attack on Titan thing and you just wait for years and years and years, and they're just like you're just dicking around with the project. Get back to your main work, please. I'm begging you.
People think Game of Thrones invented that. Game of Thrones didn't even line up for that cue.
No, but I wouldn't even say Berserk invented that, but Berserk was doing that way before Game of Thrones.
Oh, there was one, the Tale of not Arslan. It's like the longest running Japanese novel series, and it's like it got adapted into light novels and stuff like that. And it had an anime there a few years ago, and like the main protagonist, like completely normal except he's got a jaguar head.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I think that invented that.
Right.
Yeah. Guyver as well. Is Guyver still going?
Oh fuck yeah, Guyver. Jesus, I don't know if it's still going. It might have finished.
It probably.
I hope so. Hope so.
Hell, oh my god, this went on for like how many years? 20 years? 30 years? I'm not kidding. I think it went on for 20 or 30 years.
It's a nightmarish screaming of a guy who never gets it.
It's better than One Piece.
Yeah.
I tried reading One Piece recently, and how has that guy gotten a job as an artist? How?
Because he makes a lot of money. Because One Piece fucking sells.
It's visually awful. Like
I'm not a big fan of the art style.
I'm not saying art style. I'm saying the art layout. I can't tell what's going on. I can't follow anything. It's just every panel has so much detail and so much stuff in it. You can't see a fucking thing.
You're saying it gets busy.
Busy. The movies are busy.
Okay.
This is harder to track than the movies.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be reading One Piece as my recommendation. But yeah, so I found a couple of shows I did try. So one is I watched the first episode of Yasahime, which is the sequel series to Inuyasha.
Oh, okay. I've heard about that. Is it any good?
Don't know yet. First episode is actually more about Inuyasha than any of the main characters.
Okay, fair enough.
So it introduces you to the main ones, which are Toa, Setsuna, and Mora, who are the daughter of Kagome and Inuyasha, which is Mora, and the twin daughters of Sesshomaru and an unnamed human woman. I wonder who it could be. I so wonder. I bet her name rhymes with Rin and is Rin.
Is it Bin?
He dumped Rin 20 years down the line and said, like, I go with Bin now.
Exactly.
He would too. But yeah, so we don't know about their mother yet, but not really a stretch. Sesshomaru is Woody Allen. Anyway. So the first episode it introduces you very briefly to the three ladies. Toa is the main character, and her sister Setsuna rather is seems to be the most prominent of the other two. Most of it though was about setting up like 6 months after the original series, sort of what's going on a bit with Kagome and everyone else, and setting up a new demon antagonist who. It seems to be an evil tree and an owl with 4 eyes.
Okay.
And it's mostly an action episode, to be completely honest. An evil tree tree monster attacks them. Thinking, of course, Kagome is Kikyo, the wonderful golem woman, the woman who was a pot. And yeah, there's a lot of action. There's a really funny bit where like Rin, Sango, and Sango's kids are all in a building. They're just like, everyone else in the village is being, like, horribly attacked. Yeah? Why is nothing here? And then Shippo just sort of floats out the window and looks up, and Sesshomaru is just standing on the house. He's not doing anything. He's just standing there, and it's just like, that's why nothing's attacking that house. Just like, you know what? I'll bother someone else. Yeah, and it's mostly just action. Doesn't really set up the main characters at all, really. I'm curious. I am curious. Like, Inuyasha was a story I really liked until it went on too long. And
Inuyasha, so a shonen series.
Inuyasha was the one where I started really feeling the filler.
Right.
Even though I think like it had way better filler than stuff like Bleach.
Okay, not high bar, but fair enough.
But then like the manga also went on way too long as well.
Oh, okay. How long did it go on for before it was done?
I'd say another 5 or 6 years after the anime ended.
Oh, woof! Really?
Jeez. And then they came back with the final series of Inuyasha, and I think that rushed through way too much stuff. I think that actually went through things way too fast. Because it left out some stuff that was worth actually delving into, and there were moments where you said like, I'd like them to have expanded this because this worked this worked for pacing for a manga. It's not going to work well for pacing for an anime. You know? Right, okay. Because, you know, this kind of stuff, when you have a week or 2 weeks between different issues, obviously it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
And you've got more time and everything else. But yeah, visually it's Inuyasha. There's nothing else to say. It's by Sunrise. So I'm going to watch, episode 2 is out. I will watch that. But yeah, the other thing I watched was the first episode of Hikarashi ni Nakoro ni Go.
Oh, the new one. The redux of the original series.
Or is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Neither do I, but I have a suspicion. So this was for anyone who doesn't know, Hikarashi is based off of a visual novel from the early to mid 2000s.
Probably, yeah.
Which kind of semi-invented or semi-popularized crazy psychological thriller. It's also in some ways kind of a proto ReZero. Some ways.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. If you told me that the creative ReZero was inspired by Hikarashi, I could at least say like you took some ideas. It's an interesting series in of itself, involving some kids in a sleepy town village. It's oh so wonderful until the violence starts.
Yes.
It's very graphic. The original series is very, very graphic. So I would not say it's for everyone. You will see a child die in very violent ways. Just warning you now. I liked it, but I think it took too long to get to its point.
I tried going back to it. I can't remember if you remember, and I had to stop because the pacing was just awful. Awful
and
pacing.
It's based off a game as well, so I think the game was all fully out at the time. I think because it's got it's one of those games with multiple chapters. So Higurashi, it had movies and spin-offs and OVAs. There's a lot of alternate timelines and post-series stuff and everything else out there. But this was advertised as a complete remake, which is very unusual because animes usually don't do that.
No, it can happen, but it's not often.
And I will say the first episode does play out like that. I mean, it opens up with a guy beating a girl to death with a baseball bat.
Yay!
Caving
anime.
in her skull, which has context in the show.
Sure.
That portrays it less as him being a complete fucking psychopath, but there is that element to it. There's a lot of crazy in Higurashi.
Would you say it's more graphic than the original series?
I don't
Since
know.
The animation's better.
I'm actually
better.
The animation is better, but I am thinking of going back just because if I hadn't seen this and hadn't done a little reading around it afterwards, I would say I wouldn't have gone back.
Okay.
But originally this was just advertised as Higurashi, same name, everything. And then in the last minutes, they suddenly called it Go. And apparently one of the translations of Go is true. Apparently it's got a few different translations. And they've basically come out now and said, this is not a remake.
Oh.
This is...
Interesting.
Because timelines is a thing in Higurashi.
Won't
spoil anything.
The problem with Higurashi is it's been the anime has been going on for years, and then they've shunted large portions of slice of life, and then had non-slice of life stuff. It's just been all over the place as far as I can tell.
This one was starts with uber violence, and then a slice of life episode that ends on a sinister note.
Right.
But it's this one certainly is structured very much like the start of the original series.
Okay.
I am curious to see where it goes. Like I said, I think I might at least try to rewatch the old one at some point because it could be good to be reminded of some stuff.
Get ready for that animation, Mikey. At the very least, if you can stand
I remember there were
pacing,
decent
that's
faces.
fine.
There were decent expressions. I remember expressions were decent.
I think you forget how non-human a lot of the characters look, especially the really young characters.
How early 2000s?
I'd say it's worse than a lot of that stuff.
I don't know. I remember there was a time in early 2000s animation where you just had this stream of just
before you watch the show, Mikey, I want you to imagine that these all are pop vinyls or whatever they're called.
Can you? I would genuinely pay to see a pop vinyl style Higurashi with those little beady eyes.
Okay, fair enough. Because that's the only difference is the eyes are about the same. The same size of the heads, because these motherfuckers are nothing but forehead. They're chibi styled characters, but with a normal body, but with a giant
without
head.
anyone pausing and going your forehead is huge.
Yeah, this is a nightmare. What's wrong with you people?
I don't know if I'd recommend it yet. I said,
it's episode 1, I suppose. So.
Yeah, and I genuinely, if the sight of violence involving as far as I know, I don't remember any sexual violence. I remember a lot of physical violence.
Yeah, I think it's only physical.
Yeah, because there's a plot reason for that.
Yes.
There's as far as I remember, there's nothing plotty about whatever. But like I said, this one opens up with a girl getting her head caved in by a baseball bat, and it's not really pulling any punches on that. I will watch the next couple of episodes. I'll see how I think. But yeah, apart from that, I did a little bit more of 13 Sentinels.
Oh my god.
A little bit more. I'm only 5 hours in. It's an unusual game. I'm still not really sure what's going on with the story. It also seems to be doing multiple timelines, but in a very... I'm very curious to see how it's going, because it's very non-linear. And you're going to have 13 different protagonist routes.
Okay.
The combat itself, I've realized now the combat is actually set in the final battle.
Right.
So all the narrative stuff is actually like the stuff that led up to that final fight, which is probably why there's a lot of stuff I'm looking at. It's like, I don't know what's going on here. But the actual combat itself is interesting. Again, RTS, it's not super challenging.
Right.
Got 3 different difficulties, but I'm liking it. It's an interesting one just because it's not a game I feel like sitting down for 4 hours doing. It's one I like coming to for an hour, sitting down, going away for a few days, coming back.
Do you think it would work better for you if it was like a portable game, so you could play it on the way to somewhere?
Yeah, it would be good for that, but like as it is, there's something. I think it's very much a PlayStation game.
What do you mean by that?
You'd never find a game like this on Xbox or Nintendo. I don't know how better to describe that.
You mean it's a very Japanese game? Because to be fair, Xbox does not have Japanese styled games for the most part.
Not like console exclusives anyway.
No.
But no, like I don't know if I'll recommend it yet, but I think it's at least worth putting an eye over if you got a PlayStation. And you're one of us. Yeah, apart from that. I was going to say apart from that there's nothing, but I did do a toy. I did test out a model building experience because I was able to get some grip in my hands. I can't handle too much, but so I built I don't know if it's official or not, Topium Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, which is an SD model kit, which is... So Topium did a garage kit at Wonderfest, which got turned into an official SD kit for Optimus Prime. And this is a Shattered Glass version of that, which is either an official kit that's not listed, a Topium kit that's not official that they did anyway, or a knockoff of a Topium kit they did a Shattered Glass, and I can't find any confirmation of which one of those it is.
Okay.
So yeah, built it. I like the design. I like the design a lot, and I built it to go with my Nendoroid Akane, of course, and they look really good together. And I've got them in a display where her monster models and the Alexis computer screen are together, and they're like framing it, and I really like having the two of them together. Oh, I would not tell you to buy this otherwise.
Why is that?
Where to start? It has some of the worst flash marks, nub marks I've seen on any kit I've tried. And the colors are really unusual, like the specific shade, which means that I simply don't... These are not colors you're going to come across easy enough to be able to readily cover up those nub marks.
Okay.
You've got a sort of option between chrome and black parts for certain areas. Presumably the black parts are there if you want to paint them. I tried chrome on a few, like on the top of the face and everything else. The thing about the chrome, it was added, but it was not added smartly. Which means that the spaces these parts are meant to go in were made for the black pieces, and then someone took those black pieces and added chrome on top of them.
Oh, so they're too big.
They don't fit. And
yeah.
I spent half an hour filing down the pegs on the chrome, because like the black pieces didn't look right, and I could paint the metallic silver, but that wouldn't have looked right either in this case.
Right.
And it also meant like I spent ages trying to get the chest windows work, and I was just like, why isn't this working? And it's like, oh, I'm supposed to use the black bits, which I did paint because I tried them without the paint in them, and they looked awful.
Right.
Added to that, the actual feel of the kit when you're building it together is terrible.
Oh.
Trying to put it together, like I was straining. Like I've only got one halfway decent hand as well, so I was really straining to shove things together. At one point, I started clipping out the actual pegs. So like they'd have 4 pegs. I'd clip out the 4th one because that means I could push that bit together, glue it together, and it would hold together for me.
Okay.
Like his chest wouldn't come together properly for me unless I glued it. And it's supposed to open up and show you the matrix. Which I had painted by the time I put it in there.
Okay.
So now I have a painted matrix I can't access.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it just inaccessible now?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The actual robot is decently posable, nothing crazy, but the joints are very weird. And they're weird in a way which means they kind of accordion out and come apart very easily if you're not careful. Mm-hmm. It's not a good kit, in all honesty. It looks good in a standing pose, and it looks good for the purpose I wanted it for, and I got it for not crazy money. If you have a Nendoroid Akane, and you, like me, are an insane man who wants an Optimus Prime to go with her, buy this, Similarly, buy the Figma and buy the upcoming Voyager. If you just want an Optimus Prime kit, or if you want a Shattered Glass Optimus Prime that's DSD or something like that, there are better... If you want an Optimus Prime kit, get the D-Style Code Bakio one from 2010, 2011. Don't...
Did they do a Shattered Glass version?
No, they did Nemesis.
No. Okay.
I think they did Nemesis. But no, this one transforms as well, and no power on this earth is going to convince me to try to transform this. Or put in the electronics for the eyes.
Oh, it has electronics, okay.
In theory.
Oh, okay, sure.
Let's just say installation was difficult.
No.
So yeah, it's weird. I'm actually quite happy with him, because he fulfills exactly the role I wanted him to fulfill.
Right.
I would never tell anyone to buy him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me really, Andy. What about you?
I've done a few things this week. I got a few little bits. I don't think I've watched anything super, amazing. Mainly because ReZero is done and dusted, and there's no other anime on the horizon that I know of that's kind of worth watching, unfortunately. Yeah,
if anyone sees a villainous style thing that we've missed pop up, please let us know.
Yeah, something fun like that. I'm always down for that.
Did you see there was, I don't know what the show's called, but there's an announcement now just a show about a girl who falls into an Otama game where she's the bad guy.
It's a villainess series.
No, Andy.
Oh.
It's the first in apparently a long line of upcoming villainous series ripoffs.
No, it did well, and everything wants it. She'll be the OG Superman sexy lady who gets everybody to want to fuck her, and then everybody else will be that as well. Oh, no.
Yep.
Well, you never know. We might get good ones to come along as well, because, Konosuba effectively came out of Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
So
speak not the name.
Yeah.
If you say it 3 times in a mirror, it appears.
Oh no, I hope not. I don't want that to be my fate. So I've been doing that. Obviously, like you, watching streamers most of the time when I can. I finished building the Barbatos, the Master Grade Barbatos. Finally, it's really good. It's really good. I can see why people like Master Grades. The reason I can't understand why people like Master Grades is because they're all fucking boring most of the time.
Which, because I've got the Death Side, the white Death Side.
Yes.
Which I hopefully will start building during the week if the hand holds up.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you just mad because, a lot of Master Grades are basically just here's the RX-78 and boring Universal Century ones?
Are you telling me that you wouldn't be annoyed by that?
I mean, I am. And I'm annoyed at some of the more interesting designs that go Kai versions, so they can design them to look more like Universal
The RX-78. Yeah, it's what the fuck? Don't do that.
You're doing the Crossbone Gundam and you're making it look more like the RX-78. Why?
Stop it.
Why? It's the Crossbone. Make it round. It's supposed to be round.
I tell you, I think there's only one of the Master Grade. Well, there's 2 of the Master Grades that I like the look of. The O, because I like the O because it's big and fat and chunky. And I like Shirako because he's a piece of shit. And the Turn X, because the Turn X is stupid design.
Yeah.
And you know the Turn X as well.
I like the Turn X. I like the Gundam Mark II, but I specifically the Titan version.
Sure.
And there are other Master Grades, especially non-Gundam Master Grades. It's just, oh dear, they really do ram down that 5 really popular versions down. If I see another unicorn on a website, I'm gonna scream.
I mean, it makes sense because it makes them fucking money, and it's an easy sell. But
please stop.
Yeah.
Master
I really
Grade
hope
X.
From the look of the runners. I remember our Irish guy who we both watch mentioned that the runners for the frame, I think, didn't say specifically Barbatos. They were just Gundam frame. So the hope is that they'll do some more from Iron-Blooded Dolphins, because Iron-Blooded Dolphins is fairly popular as well. So I'd be
pretty variable aesthetic as well.
Yeah, because the idea behind the toy line originally was to have a frame and then build the armor on top to make it more unique. So as long as you have a frame, which they do, all you have to do is make the head different and then make different armor, and there you've got a new model without having to spend a huge amount on the general frame, that you put the armor on. But I like it. It's good overall. I wouldn't say the Barbatos is my favorite design from Iron-Blooded Orphans, but again, it is unique and different enough. Like, you stand this Gundam against the RX-78, you're like, wow, this is very fucking different. And that's why you should think, Mikey, you should watch Iron-Blooded Orphans at some point, because it is I watched Boofire reviews, and he made a good point that it is. A lot of people say it's not a Gundam series, but it is. I don't want to explain why that is, and I don't want to explain the kind of details about season 1 and 2, because that would kind of ruin the experience. But it does some interesting things, which I quite like. And I get why people wouldn't like those things, because it's kind of polarizing in some aspects. But the whole idea about the Gundams and how they look and how the Master Grade came together is quite good. So I am pleased with it. And there wasn't, luckily, too much panel lining to do, because I'm not a guy to go through and panel line the inner frame when it's going to be covered up by the armor. You know, what a waste of time that would be. So apart from finishing off the Barbie, I finally got some G.I. Joe classified figures.
Woo!
Jesus. So I got the Cobra Commander, and I got the Red Ninja. They're both really good. Cobra Commander's a little bit limited because of his tunic. It basically negates all of his waist twisting articulation. Just, you know, it was they had to sacrifice it to keep that kind of look going. He's still quite poseable, and you can tell he is a descendant of the Power Rangers line in a lot of ways, but he's much improved. Obviously, I don't know how comparable he is to the newer Power Rangers stuff, but he is better. He and Deca Master both have like the ankle joint or the foot joint where you can move it forward, but it kind of clicks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I kind of wish on both of them there was either more detents or a little bit more tightness and no detents. Because sometimes you'll put them in a position and the figure will kind of start to slump forward and then fall over. Just because of how that joint works. So I wish there were a few more detents in there. The Red Ninja has a lot of posability, obviously a lot more posability than Cobra Commander, and he has a lot of weapons. He's got 2 tomahawks, 1 ninja toe, I think it's called, the ninja sword. He's got 1, I would guess, maybe a naginata or something similar. It's maybe it's not a naginata, but it's a very long bladed sword. And he's got 2 ice pick weapons, which again I'm not sure what the proper term is for them, and he's also got 2 sais on him, and he can basically hold all of them on his body, which is pretty impressive. The hip joints can move down kind of like a figure arts, and they're a little bit loose, like you just kind of poke them and they'll start to drop, so I kind of wish they were a bit tighter. But apart from that, luckily none of my figures really have that terrible of paint issues on them, so that's another nice thing. But I'm very impressed with them. I'm very happy I've got like Zartan on pre-order. I just wish there were more Cobra figures on the market, or at least coming up, but there aren't, and they'll come in time because the line's still pretty new. I guess the only issue with my Cobra Commander is, you know how he's got the silver faceplate and then he's got the blue bit going over the top of it.
Yeah.
The blue bit isn't put on as straight as it could have been, so it's the 2 pointy bits that kind of come down the side for down to the cheek parts aren't exactly in line with each other. I've seen it done a lot worse on some other people's, but it is a little bit noticeable on mine now that I've seen it. But yeah, overall, I'm very, 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 very happy with both of them. I also got a web camera from Mr. Jason Kirk because he had a spare, and I was like, I need one, but they don't have them. And he was like, oh, I've got a spare one. And I was like, oh, I'll pay you. And he was like, no, I got you. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. So Jason did me a solid. So thank you again, Jason. And I bought a desk yesterday or today, and I won't be getting that till sometime next week. So I'll be moving my computer setup from this room to the next room. So next week will be me hoofing stuff around. So that'll be fun. But we're slowly getting into full streamer setup mode, which is nice. Which I'm looking forward to having that all done and dusted for the future. Did I get up to anything else? I don't think so. Oh, I've just been playing, obviously, on stream. We're doing Code Vein at the moment and Monster Hunter. So that's quite fun. I've done one stream of Monster Hunter. That's a very maybe not complex game, but it throws you in at the deep end. It's one of those games where it hits you with a lot of stuff very quickly, I found. So hopefully I'll be a bit more comfortable tonight when we finish this and I start streaming that. So we'll see how that goes. But I killed my first Pookie, and I like that because it's got a silly name, so I thought it had to die. The Pookie. It was asking for death purely based on its name. I was on the Fluffin' Hammer as well today. We were talking about Warhammer comics, so that was fun. Busy times, lots of things going on. Anything else, Mr. Mikey? Is that you? Is that you done?
That is me. We had a question to the email, but it was, were we looking at Lightning Collection, which I think we've answered quite a bit in the last month or so.
What does it mean specifically? Looking at it,
were we interested in it as a toy line? And we're just like, yes.
Yeah, I would say so. I think I'm more interested in the monster line personally.
Oh yeah. But I was just like, we've answered that a lot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was all I saw. Do you have any feedback or questions or anything, Andy?
Christoph Carlson sent us one over Facebook, which says, "Well, if you want a Super Robot show for babies without furries." And is legal on YouTube, then Dino Force, FYI, not the real Dino Force, not the Dino Force that matters. I'm going to throw out there. There's no Kakaryu. It's still good, apparently. Even if it jumped the shark by season 3 by shoving all the toy characters into, all the toy characters I liked into a negative zone and replacing them with a single animal mech. So the spirit of the Transformer movie is still alive. Have you heard of Dino Force, Mikey?
No, I saw this and I looked it up and it looked incredibly babies.
Do you think it'll be good to hook your niece then?
Maybe. I mean, I'll be honest, not for me.
Okay.
But might do her.
All you need, Mikey, you just need that hook. You need that thing to trick her into liking things.
Oh no, she'll like anything. It's just getting it past her mother.
You need some of that night spray so it knocks her out.
Look over there. What? Bang.
Jesus, is that a gun or a hammer that you're using?
Which would you like it be?
I don't know. Whatever you got, man. Whatever you got.
Why you want murder, Andy?
It's my way, Mikey. It is my life and my goal.
This is the way of my people.
Exactly. I haven't heard of Dino Force, but it's. Hey, if it's another show to kind of trick kids into getting them into Transformers, then that's good. I would say. I don't think I'll do it because I'm not looking for baby shows personally. But you know what would make it better already, Mikey? If it had the cast of Dinosaurs, the Disney show.
That was not a baby show, Andy. That had a lot of cannibalism.
Oh yeah, I know, and it had a really fucking dark ending as well. Dino Force, Mikey, would be the sequel where they fight against the Ice Age. And it turns into a Mad Max style and they use giant robots to fight each other. That's my idea for the show. What do you think? You like it?
It's an idea.
Yeah. And then by the end of the show, Mikey, you know what happens?
They all die?
What would happen? No. You're not thinking the big picture. What they do, Mikey, and this is going to annoy you.
It's like, I thought you were just going to say it ends like Babylon 5.
No, this will annoy you. They build a spaceship and go to the Delta.
The Delta Quadrant.
And then, it's all connected, man. It all makes sense.
And only the parasaurs go. And everyone's like, why are you going? Why are the dumbest dinosaur here leaving for space? Because we are the most evolved. That's not how evolution works.
You mean, duh, where the smart was. You know what happens? You get the dumb ones are all on the spaceship and they press the go button before everybody else gets on board. Bye!
Bye, we go to space! Yay!
I guess they don't want to come with us. There you go.
Bye-bye!
It all connected back to Voyager.
Good
times. Maybe. I'm still enjoying Next Gen as well, by the way. That's still quite good. What was the episode? The one I watched last night was the one with the Ferengi scientist who is murdered, and there's a female Klingon. No. Actually, the one I watched last night was the one with Kalis being introduced.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting episode, talking about faith and everything like that.
Very strange one, though.
In what sense?
Because it's trying to how do we approach fate by saying fate isn't real? We just clone the guy and you can pretend he's Jesus.
I mean, that's a cynical way to look at it, I suppose. I think the interesting
And they basically said, are you sure you're not Jesus? No, I'm a clone. But are you Jesus?
I think it's interesting that the Klingon belief is so strong that even though they know he's a clone, they wouldn't care, and they'd still believe he is Kahless. And I think that's an interesting. I think that's a good way to maybe represent faith in a way, because it's not about like even if he is a clone, that's what the story was talking about. He said he'd return. He didn't say he wouldn't come back as a clone. So technically, the prophecy is fulfilled. It's good. And it's a shame that he only gets referenced in DS9. Kahless only gets referenced in DS9. Other than that, he vanishes, unfortunately. But his coat, do you remember his fluffy coat?
Oh yeah,
that does appear in DS9.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, in the episode where Quark romances Grilka. They obviously had another one, but yeah, it's like it's the same coat.
Worf in his ear.
Yeah. I forgot, like, I was watching that episode and I forgot, like, Worf has the Klingon, like, mustache of the two little fluff points on his face, and then by DS9 he has the full goatee, and I was like, the goatee's better.
Yeah.
The goatee's the powerful Worf that I like.
This is the Worf who got his ass kicked.
Yeah, every time, like, he's the first to go down.
Because you have to show the aliens badass by taking out Worf.
I had another horrible realization. Geordie LaForge is the prototype Harry Kim. He fails every time at getting a woman. Every single time. Not as badly as Harry Kim. Harry Kim's just pathetic and you feel bad for him.
Well, Harry Kim got an STD and then got a formal military reprimand for it. in a military that had Riker in it, who probably is an STD.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if Riker went up to Picard and said, like, well, I'm a little sick now. Why? Well, I was on a planet, and things happen, and Picard was like, oh, I see. I'm so Britishly French. Cut to Janeway. Well, I did one thing wrong in 3 years. I got one woman to like me, and it turned out she gave me a space STD that is convincing me I love her. Right? Your career is in the toilet now.
Whoops.
Fuck you for disobeying me.
Well, here's the thing about Riker. Do you remember episode True Q?
Is that the one with the Q girl, or is it the one where he gets Q powers?
It is the one with the Q girl, where she's like 18, she comes onto the ship, and she wants Riker. She is sniffing around his groin. She is begging for Riker. She even, once she develops her Q powers, she basically mind convinces him to love her. And it's like, wow. Even when Riker's not trying it, he's getting it.
Yeah, she does something that got regular Q to come out and say, we don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, maybe I'll kill you because this is why we were tentative about you having Q powers.
You see, you're doing the mind rape. We don't do the mind rape.
I mean, I'm terrible as a Q and quite the monster, but you're the bad one here.
I'm like, the charming monster that people like despite themselves. You're just a bitch.
It is always curious that the Q continuum were willing to go that far, but they'd never stepped in when Q, like John Delancey, Q was an asshole.
I suppose there's a big difference between stepping in the kid and stepping in on him.
I don't know. From the stories,
they turned him human once.
They did, but it sounds like Q did a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things.
Yeah, but like it was like he's railing against the system more, like because Q isn't bad. He's Q. He's amoral. I
think the people he not tortured, but
torment would be a better word.
Yes, torment. Well, that was his word for it. The species has tormented probably would disagree with that assumption.
Yeah, but he doesn't mean any harm. He's just bored. Like it's not malicious. He's bored.
He was an interesting one because he does start off as a pure antagonist and then becomes a bit more neutral as the show goes on.
He's basically an anti-villain by the end of it, or an anti-hero, depending on how you want to put it.
Yeah, he's a strange one. And then they kind of ruin him in Voyager.
Where he becomes a Civil War veteran.
Yeah, and has a child?
Yeah, he has his own Wesley.
Which is weird if you think about it, because that's apparently the first Q child, but it's not, because in True Q, that was the first Q child.
Well, she wasn't technically, like, that was the first child the Q continuum agreed to. She's an abomination.
That's, I guess, yeah.
She's QQ that turned themselves human, remember?
Yeah, but they were still Q.
Yeah, but they turned human. She inherited Q power. Their full Q had children.
It's weird technicalities, isn't it?
Shut up.
But we are totally off topic here. Well, we're on the off topic section, so that's fine and dandy. It's all right. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paler, and you can send any emails or anything you want over at themoonbase2@gmail.com. And you can also send on Twitter, Facebook, Libsyn, Patreon, and everywhere else. Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, on YouTube as Cripple Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on Moonbase 2 forums, on Twitter, iTunes.
You forgot Twitch?
I'll get to Twitch. Twitch is the later thing that I do.
No, it's in the system. We have a system. It's Andy first, Moonbase 2 later. We've been doing this for years.
Well, you can find me on Twitch as CCTFW as well if you really want to.
Yes, I will.
Where I play video games. Like I say, Moonbase 2, we're on Facebook, Libsyn, iTunes. We're on YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast, and we're also on Weebly as well, which is the ccbunker.weebly.com. Is that it? I think that's it. Oh, Patreon. Patreon.com/Moonbase2. We have a new Patreon, which is The Fluff and Hammer, which is, of course, your and my friend, Mr. Gruff.
A friend is such a strong word.
He is an ally of truth and justice.
We've met.
We have met. That is a fact. That
like
has been
his wife.
noted down. They still have the Mikey cat they need to
Fuck
send
that
you.
cat! Hate
They
that
should have
cat.
sent it to you while your arm was broken.
They've been threatening to send me that fucking thing for years. The first thing I ever said to that woman was hello, and she started going like, hello, Mikey. I'm just like, fuck off. Hate that cat. She once said to me, like, not long after we started talking, I've never had so much fun tormenting someone I've never met.
You know what the cat is? The cat is the nuclear football. All they have to do is press that button and send the nuke over to you.
They do, and they're going to get a picture of me holding it over a fire.
But it's a gift, Mikey.
Yeah, and it'll be the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, it can only give once if it goes in a fire.
Oh, believe me, it'll give me plenty.
Oh my god. Well, that's us done, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. We will see you next week for more Transformers stuff. If there is any Transformers stuff. We have a Moonbase Woo Woo recording this month, and it will be Halloween-y based. It'll be me and Nicole talking about paranormal stuff, and she's been on Ghost Walks recently, so we'll be talking about them as well. We're going to be talking about her favorite ones as of late, paranormal stuff, and the classics, the ones that she's always liked as well. So that should be fun. Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say something there, Mr. Mikey.
No, I don't care.
Oh, fair enough. Right, well, that's us done. So until next week, everybody, we will see you next time.
Insert comedic thing here.
Beep.
You are now leaving Moonbase 2.